Dynamites. Did that sound loud? Fire! Episode 139. How crazy is that? That's officially 12, let's see, 7. It's 127 more than Harry and Meghan turned in. Just saying, Spotify. Boom, you kind of wasted your money. Your $20 million. Although they're not going to get all that. We're going to talk about that. Yeah. And then there was another little bursting story about that, about Harry and Meghan. Can't wait. You know, I really don't care if they want to leave the royal family and they want to become normal people. That's fine. It's what they've been doing in the meantime. Kelly Osbourne went off on it too, but I'm not British. Yeah, I like all the Osbournes. I know there's reasons people probably wouldn't, but I do. I'm not British. I don't care what the shit they do, but they're not really doing anything. It's the typical. I'll get into it, but first let's start out. What are we drinking? A giant Budweiser. This is not a political statement. This is a sporting statement. If you will see, there's a cardinal on the front of this can. And I'm embarrassed because we're in last place. We've never played this poorly. I'm trying. I watch it with my dad every day. And health-wise, I'm not. Somebody said, "Are we ever going to know what's going to happen?" I'm not going to go into all the health issues that have occurred because it's their health. It's not my health. They have their right to. At some point, if they will say, "Okay, blab it all," we will. But everybody, it's all hands on deck. But everything is moving forward. Yay! Yeah. No one is dead. Yep. Everyone's thinking clearly. So one step at a time. But I will be spending an inordinate amount of time in the Ozarks watching the Cardinals, and they suck. And maybe this is a rally can. That's all I can think of. And then I have a little Old Smoky up because the Tennessee team's doing really good in the College World Series. Yeah. So good for them.
Makes it feel a little better.
Well, and I just love this mascot because it's a blue tick hound, and they made him blue.
He's very blue.
Blue ticks are my second favorite after beagles. Anything in the hound group. Anyway, so that's what I'm drinking, a real old school Budweiser. And this is, I don't care about Bud Light. Now Garth Brooks is in more trouble because he's serving Bud Light. I cannot believe it's this country. We are so out of shit to do that we're fighting over, what do you mean you're serving Bud Light when there was a trans person? Oh my God, who cares? I mean, if it's my favorite beer, short of it being like Hitler, where I'd be like, okay, damn it, I can't drink Fat Tire. They put Hitler on the can. Right. You can't do that. Right. But I mean, you could even put a picture of the devil on Fat Tire, and I'd be like, well, the devil drinks too. Yeah. I could come up with a reason to excuse. I just can't believe that people over a beer would go this bananas, and it's still going on. I thought it would fade away, but it's not. People are still really pissed about it, but it'll go away, I imagine, eventually. So that's what I'm drinking. Cheers to Budweiser's not in trouble. Bud Light's in trouble. Now, this glass says Bud Light, but I had purchased these long before this candle. I just want to say that. They were at Deerberg's, which is a grocery store in Missouri.
Nice. I like it.
So many things. Well, what are we trying? Now, I already tried it, admittedly. Doritos Cool Ranch popcorn. And it's Smartfood.
Nice.
And you know what? I just had to have my tooth put back in, so I have to be careful.
Tooth put back in?
Yeah, my tooth fell out twice when I'm sitting there with my dad. And then I got it glued back in. It fell out again the next one. Oh, this is really good. Doritos Cool Ranch flavored popcorn.
Yeah.
I vote A+.
Really?
I like it. I like that skinny pop too, though.
Yeah.
And that's less calories. And then Lay's, me and my dad's favorite brand, they've decided to do a BLT sandwich.
Delicious.
Well, you don't have to do this to trick me into buying Lay's. I'll buy Lay's. Yeah. It's good. I don't know how much money they spend creating new things. It seems ridiculous. They're good.
Yeah.
Tastes
like a BLT?
No, doesn't taste like a BLT at all. No, I don't know what it is, but it's good. But no. I mean, it's fine, but just buy Lay's. Okay, great. It's got a little more kick. A little more kick than a normal Lay's. If that's what you're into.
Thanks.
And then Kraft, who doesn't love Kraft? They have mayo that's buffalo style dressing. I think the idea is to put this on sandwiches, like mayonnaise, except you want buffalo.
Like a chicken sandwich?
No, like I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, this one has a fried chicken sandwich. I would never eat a fried chicken sandwich. It's bad enough if I'd eat fried chicken, more or less on a sandwich. Come on, some of us have standards.
You do live part-time in the South.
Well, I'll have a Popeyes every now and then. This is really good. I just don't understand the point. I think it's supposed to spice up like a turkey sandwich.
Does it taste like buffalo?
Which it would. It kind of tastes like buffalo. I think it would mess up the taste of your cheese if you had like turkey and Swiss. This would overpower it all.
Yeah.
A ham sandwich, just a plain sandwich. Yeah. This thing of it though, I mean, they just think like everybody has 12 children. I mean, how long would it take to eat this? It would take me. I mean, I'd move before I was done. And then I'd be like, oh, look, this expired 7 years ago. Great. Okay. So that's what we're drinking and eating. A few termite things. Somebody sent me this little dancing Jesus, which I thought was funny. Kathy from Kalamazoo. It said, you probably know the song Plastic Jesus by George, and I can't read it, and Ed Rush. I don't know it. But there's a chorus. I don't care if it rains or freezes as long as I got Plastic Jesus sitting on the dashboard of my car. Nice. And this is a dancing Jesus because I'm doing the work of the Lord. So she thought I would like that.
Fun.
Yeah, he'll stay right here.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's from Kathy from Kalamazoo. Thank you very much. Got a little, I was invited to one of the children's graduation.
Nice.
Not my, these are the nephews. This is for, I got this late because I wasn't around. I was up in the Ozarks. Robert, I won't say his last name, but Robert Stephen, he's very cute. He was having a graduation party on Sunday, June 11th, noon to 4. Illinois, I could have shot over there.
Yeah.
I could have called Mary back. Mary wrote this. This is so funny. I wanted to invite you to my son's graduation party. Now, enough about him. My sister and I are huge termites. We attend every show when you come to Chicago. My name's Mary, my sister's name is Jenny. Hope you can stop it. I could not stop it because I didn't get this too late, but I don't know if he likes me, but I can send something. I'll send something to Mary and Jenny. I'll get a little prize. These prize packages may be delayed. I'm not really anywhere as much as I'd like to be these days, except I am going to Vegas this weekend. The Mirage. And then another nice little note, just a nice note from Sandy and Dave in Pagosa Springs, Colorado. Know that your family and hearts are in our prayers are in a difficult time. Love you. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to myself. I did do some of that in the Ozarks this time. I snuck out of my shift work, as I call it now, and golfed a little. Saw a giant snake. Yeah, well, I didn't get the good snake on video. It was too terrifying. I was like, I'm not going all the way over there. The snake in the lake wasn't the snake at the golf. The snake on the fairway was...
It'd be weird if it was following you.
Yeah, it'd be weird if I kept seeing the same snake. I don't know. I'd say it was probably at least 5 foot long. It had a lot of S's. He was going across the fairway super quickly, like a black snake. But you just don't want to go into your sand trap, blah, 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 and then you get in the trap, and there it is. You have to look. You have to pay attention in the summer. Just saying. I got to do a little fishing.
Nice.
Not much, but
Did you catch anything?
I did. I caught a giant bass off the dock.
Cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Good times.
So there you have it. So many things. I really want to talk about this Titanic thing so bad I can hardly stand it, and we're going to, but there's a few things first. I could not believe this. So my friends Bob and Clark, I've known them since I was 25 years old.
Yep.
And Bob now works at the Kelly Clarkson show. And he was my manager for a while, and then he booked the Tonight Show, and he's my friend. And Clark, his partner, I don't really know if they're ever married. I don't know if they were. I guess I could ask. I don't know. I just think of them as Bob and Clark. Maybe if they did get married, I wasn't invited.
Blark.
So Blark. Clark's not getting a present. If you snuck away somewhere, you didn't tell me about it. So when I talked about the ceramic Picasso on here, they texted me, "We have a ceramic Picasso." I'm like, "What?" Yeah. And he sent a picture of it. I said, "How did you get this? And can I talk about it on the Pubcast?" He said, "Yeah. It was back when I was a concierge. I'm not going to say which hotel. This is Clark. I had an in with an art dealer. At the time, it was worth around $4,000. He only made me pay $1,500. Ceramics will never will never be painting value, that's for sure. In the Picasso Museum in Barcelona, they have a whole section devoted to ceramics. I did not know that." Yeah. And then he sent a picture of it, and they have a little Picasso book. and the bowl is sitting in a little frame, and I'm like,
Fantastic.
I didn't even know he did any of this, but it made me laugh. I'm like, you two have one? Come on, what else are you hiding? That's crazy.
They didn't get it at Bed Bath & Beyond.
Right. No. You're sitting there over at Bed Bath & Beyond having cocktails, and you're telling me you got a Picasso sitting on your, what do you want to call it? I don't know. Your curio? Is it in your curio cabinet? My mom has a curio cabinet. It has keys to it. And it's old. And she wanted me to get some. I used to talk about my ex. She has this ceramic Irishman's head that every time I'm there, she tries to give it to me. And I'm like, I'll just wait till everyone's dead and I'll take it off your hands then. But right now, and I had to get in it. Those old keys, skeleton keys, holy shit. Not an easy thing. But anyway, that made me laugh. So let's move it on to, Queen news. Well, I don't have any Queen news. Cher, very quiet. Tanya, touring. Fine. Who do I got here? Dolly, nothing this week, but I'm sure she's done 85 things. I just haven't heard about them yet. That lady never sleeps. Stevie's out there on the road. Lots of videos. Tay-Tay. I do have she's crushing it. She's an economy. I swear to God, if I was her, that's my next album. I'm an economy. And you want yours fixed? Invite me to your town. Boop. Have me do 10 shows. Boop. You'll have all the money and hotel and taxes you need. But I did read a thing. I didn't have time for this. I have a lot this week. But of what going to a Tay-Tay concert does to you. Because people, the children, many of the children are saying they have amnesia from it. Yeah, and they can't remember what happened.
Oh my God, we have to
Now,
go.
I've had that experience, but it was due to alcohol, and I can pinpoint exactly when I went over or under the edge of what I was capable of. Yeah, one time, Led Zeppelin came to St. Louis to the Checker Dome.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I fell asleep in the car. I never made it in.
Stop it. What?
And my friends left me. Well, they were fine with that back then.
Yeah.
They're like, Kathleen's done. I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I just got too overstimulated, and I had a lot of beer. And then I'm like, I'm tired. I don't feel like going.
Bye.
Okay, update.
Oh, hang on. Mini Queen update.
Oh, mini queen update. Well, I shouldn't say a mini queen because Anita's.
She's a big queen.
She's a big queen, but she's my height. Well, she's a shotty. She's a shotty queen. Me, Dolly, Stevie, the shotties. Anita. So Anita's out on tour, and I saw Anita in Atlanta, and Babyface was the opener. Mm-hmm. I did not know Babyface was going to be the opener. I also did not realize how many songs he has produced. A zillion. Yeah. I mean, I knew that was part of his deal. Right. But he basically turned the place into a 90s pop disco, I would say. It was great. Yeah. He was great. Okay. But I did notice, as someone who is a performer and a headliner also, I noticed that I thought he went a little long, time-wise. I'm looking at my thing going, like, everybody who opens for me who's nice enough to take the gig, I usually say 20 if you hate them, 25 if you love them, 30 max. Mm-hmm. Because people didn't pay. The opener's there to have fun, and I never hire shitty openers. I always hire super funny people. Yep. Because I think if you paid to come to a show, it's the whole show. Yep. You should not just, well, I won't say it, but there's other people that view it that differently. But yeah, they're like, I think it's better to just get an unfunny fucker out there, and then when you go up, you seem twice as funny. Right. Okay, well, I'm not doing that to people. Here, sit through this train wreck, and then I'll come out and try to fix all that. No. So anyway, she's had Babyface, and everything was going fine on the road. And then somewhere in Newark, this is a month ago, a month, I saw it on Twitter. They had all these technical difficulties, so she told him, apparently some people are under the impression they're co-headlining. They're not. No. Anita is selling the tickets. Yeah. Let's not kid ourselves. No. Babyface can't sell 18,000 tickets in an arena with no marketing. Anita puts out a thing on Twitter, I might be coming to your town. That's it. She doesn't do press, and it sells out immediately. Well, so that night, when there were all these tech problems, she said, tell him, we're good tonight. We can't do it. We can't have you go out for an hour. And she didn't shorten his set. And if an opener got down to I had to cut their set, I would just say, hey, man, great news for you. You are off with pay tonight. Right. I would love that. Right. This is me. Oh, hey, I just get to watch? Yeah, sweet. It was one thing. Well, then his fans, and I watched it all on Twitter, they started coming after her. Really? And, you know, I said to one of my friends, Black Twitter went crazy. And they were like, what's Black Twitter? I'm like there's Irish Twitter. All groups kind of have their own. The Irish Twitter's hilarious. Black Twitter, beyond funny. When they go at it, watch out. There are just bombs being dropped everywhere. And they're funny as shit. Well, she got tired of it. And she dropped him from the tour. Yes, I'm sure. I'm guessing contractually she had to pay him out. But you know what? If you're going to sick your fans on me because you didn't like something that night that had nothing to do with me, it's the tech problems. What are we going to do? We're already starting way late. Yeah. We can't have you. No. You get the night off, man, with pay. Bye-bye. Why the whining? Right. Wow. Anyway, if you're going to see Miss Anita now, she's either by herself. She said she's going at it by herself, but she might. Who knows? She might find people to fill in. But that could become a shit show too, because you don't know who you're working with and what are they doing. And then people say, why don't you hire somebody local? Well, that's all good in theory, but if they really don't know the gig, then it doesn't really work. It's too complicated. It's too hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Onward and upward. Plus, you also don't know if those people are crazy. Yeah. Like, sometimes I'd like to hire openers in local towns. Mm-hmm. Let's say I go to Omaha, you know, and there's 5 funny people. I've thought about that. Like, let's put your videos online, and I'll pick one of you. Mm-hmm. But then I don't know if they're crazy. Yeah, there might be crazy people. Right, yeah. Especially with comedians. Yeah. I don't know about singers. I don't know anything about them. There's a lot of crazy. I'd have to ask my friend Deck. Anyway, that's all the Queen news I got. Babyface, you're fired! 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 You're fired! I did love it, though. Somebody put on there, somebody messing with Auntie Anita? Nay, nay. And then it's just a picture of a kid boxing, beating the shit out of a little kid with boxing gloves out going, we ain't gonna put up with this. Bye-bye. Yeah. Update! Anna Delvey. Oh, no. Yes, I told you she's starting her podcast, right? Okay. Well, first of all, I didn't know that Chris Cuomo, who got fired from CNN, has a new show on News Nation because it's not a channel I would ever watch. No. Okay? No. Well, Chris Cuomo has a show called Cuomo, whatever. Okay? And he had Anna Delvey on. And see, this is what's wrong with the media. Why would you have this convicted felon on? Give me one reason. Because he was fired. But because no one's watching News Nation. Right, exactly. Yeah, right. That's the reason. They can't get any guests. No. But you don't put these people on if there's no story behind the story. Right. And this is what she's convicted of swindling. New York socialites, banks, and hotels out of $275,000. I regret a lot of decisions I made when I was younger, and I think I should be afforded a chance to move on with my life, she said. How many more times shall I apologize? And then he kept presenting facts about her pending appeal. Yeah. And she kept saying, your information is wrong. I don't know where you're getting your information. And then she would just keep talking, and he didn't know how to stop her. Uh-huh. And then he would go, well, it's not pending because it hasn't been filed, which is correct. You have to file the appeal for it to be pending. You can't say it's pending if you haven't filed it. Well, it's been filed. Well, he's like, well, there's no proof in the court records. Well, we're waiting on, and then she said some other, it was the stupidest interview, but I thought, it was on Twitter. I did not watch it on real TV. And I still don't know what the decision from ICE is, if she's being sent out or not. She should be, but she's probably not. She's probably not going to get shipped out. No. I mean, and there are people that have done way worse that are still here, but that's not the bar we should be using. We shouldn't be going, well, you know, this guy and that lady. And right. So that's Anna Delvey. She's dyed her hair blonde. She looks very different, and it looks like maybe she had some sort of eye lift or something. Update! Theranos fraudster Elizabeth Holmes says paddles. Simmer. She claims she can't pony up to $250 a month after the sentence. Yeah. She claims that she won't be able to afford her $250 a month restitution payments to her victim once she completes her 11-year sentence. She won't have it. She's saying now, in 11 years, I won't have $250 a month. Well, aren't you selling yourself short? Why don't you try to paint some pictures in prison and make some money? What, I thought you were such an entrepreneur. You're on the cover of Fortune magazine. You can't fucking think of something to make money in prison? I could. Why don't you, I don't know, she could make memes and have them send out to other people. $250 a month. Yeah, she's already saying she can't She can't afford it. I just got to turn this phone off. Sorry, termites, but I don't want it bugging us, and it will, I guarantee you, because there's too many people yelling at me about things right now. Power off.
I'm about to yell at you.
Well, power off. There. The termites are patient.
I'm not.
So, the judge imposed
She's an asshole.
a more than $452 million restitution order on Holmes and her accomplice. But they noted that the judge treated the two defendants differently. Well, I don't really care.
Nope.
How do you know you're not going to... And I know you can't go after your marital assets, but the guy that she's married to is a bazillionaire.
Exactly.
Once the defendant is supervised, the criminal monetary penalties must be paid in monthly payments of not less than $250 or at least 10% of earnings, whichever is greater, to commence no later than 60 days from being put on supervision. She just says she's not going to be able to do that.
Huh.
Well, you know what? I
She
would say,
doesn't want to.
if I was a judge right now, I don't give a shit what you think you can or can't do in 11 years. This is the law. 11 years from now, come back to me. We're busy. We're busy
11
people.
years from now, he'll be retired.
Who will be retired?
The judge.
Right, it'll get passed on to a new judge.
Yep.
That's how. Yeah. Update!
Judge Paddles.
Update! A Virginia man. Traitor. This is a traitor update.
Okay.
A Virginia man was sentenced today for assaulting law enforcement during the breach of the U.S. Capitol on January 6. His actions and the actions of others disrupted a joint session of the U.S. Congress. Marcus Malley, 49 years old, of Fincastle, Virginia. Oh, I like that name. Where do you reside? I live in Fincastle. In Fincastle. He was sentenced to 72 months in prison, 36 months. Jesus Christ. What's the math? 12 and 12 is 24. And 24 and 24 is 8 is 48. Oh, Jesus. How many years is this?
That took you a long time to get there.
I know.
But it's accurate, so good.
Well, how many years is it?
How many years is what?
72 months.
72 months is 3 years.
3 years. Oh, he was found guilty of interfering with a police officer during
It's not,
civil...
it's 5 years.
5 years. I thought it was more.
Yeah.
Look at you,
I
Paddles.
no, but I like that you took it.
I don't really care.
Okay.
He's probably going to get out in 2 years no matter
6
what.
months. Okay.
He had a lot of counts against him. 2 counts of assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers, or using a dangerous weapon, entering and remaining in restricted building with a dangerous weapon, disorderly and disruptive conduct in a restricted building. You know, all these traitor people, why you would do something like this when everyone is filming it is just, I don't know what people were thinking.
I know.
I really don't. So, you know, there you go, Marcus. You're 49 years old. Enjoy the next minute. If it's 5, he'll get out in 3. But still, update! The environmental activist children, and they're young. They're the children. And not all the children are bad.
The activist children.
These are the environmental activist children. All the children that are helping with all the health stuff we're doing, they're just wonderful. It restores my faith in the children. Not that I lose my faith in the children. Occasionally I do. But for the most part, they're really... These kids, these children, no. I do not agree with their approach. I agree that this is a problem. You know, the Earth's getting too hot. There's a hurricane forming, heading towards, like, the Dominican Republic, and there hasn't been one ever recorded this early in the Atlantic.
Wow.
Just bizarre shit.
Yeah.
You know, all of Canada's on fire.
Yeah, it is.
Wisconsin can't see. There was in Tennessee, the whole sky was hazy. And I'm like, what is that? And then Paddles said there were fires in Kentucky, and I was like,
What was on the news?
oh, really?
What was on the news?
I didn't hear about that. Okay, I'll Google that. And I Google, what is the haze in Nashville? Canadian fires. Nothing about Kentucky, Paddles.
By the way.
You just made that shit up, and I believed it.
I did not. I saw it on the local news. Yeah. Shout out to Randy. Listens to your podcast, Boys Fighting Fires.
Oh, yeah, shout out to my friend Randy. He's a Banff guy that I met golfing up there. He's a Lou fan. He's a Lewis Black fan. And, well, he's a my fan, too. But he's my friend now. He's my friend now.
He drinks beer with you.
He's a firefighter. He's got a million jobs. He's like a Renaissance guy. Like, he can fly helicopters. He goes to remote parts in Canada.
Yeah, he's cool.
Then he goes to Ireland. And just on a normal working man's salary. He's not a rich guy. He's just figured it out. But he's fighting all the fires up there. So shout out to Randy doing helicopter drops.
He said the meals have improved.
the meals have improved for the firefighters. That's good. Steaks. He's very excited about his steak at night. Yeah. 2 activists on Wednesday smeared red paint and then glued their hands on the protective glass of the artist's garden at Giverny, a painting by French impressionist Claude Monet, on display in Stockholm's National Museum. A video was released. Okay, so there was glass in front of it, but they painted on that, and then they glued their hands. And you know what I would have done? I would have left them there like assholes. Yes. I would have gone up with Gorilla Glue and added a little more glue to their paws and go, is this what you want? You want it? You got it. Because the painting's safe. Yeah. But I also, whatever the children are up to, security, I know I've said it 100 times on this podcast, but what the fuck is going on at the x-ray machine getting in the building? Let me see your bag. Yes. Or no bags allowed. No. No bags. No. Here, check your bag at the bag check. No phones. No nothing. And you want to come in? Great. But I don't know, how are they getting red paint in there? I mean, are they hiding it in their clothes? Maybe. The National Museum in Stockholm. Mm-hmm. This isn't some bullshit 2-cent museum that, I mean, no. Yeah, they red paint. They arrested him. The crime is currently classified as aggravated vandalism. Yeah, the aggravated part. I don't think they care about that. It's unclear whether more than the 2 people are involved in the incident, but a number of people have been checked, and the police will, among other things, review the course of events with the help of museum surveillance cameras. Well, yeah, but you let them in with paint. Right. This is a thing now, guys. I mean, it's some, podcast in the middle of nowhere in the United States, and I know I'd be on the lookout in Stockholm. The children, mind the children. Anybody under 40, I got to see no, I'd say under 50. I need to see everything you're bringing in here. Or just say no. Yeah. And there were more of the children, 2 more. On Friday, they were charged for allegedly defacing an exhibit at the National Gallery of Art in D.C. during a protest last month. Wow. Yeah. Come on, guys. Nope. They went after an Edgar Degas thing. Yeah, his sculpture. Oh, yeah, that's one we talked about on here. Yeah. These are the 2 people. They don't look like children. I'm releasing the children of blame of this incident. Okay. These people are like my age. Awful. Still bad. Yeah. Yes, your cause is valid. Mm-hmm. But you have to think of a way to get people. You just want our attention. Right. Okay, you got it. But now what? You're getting arrested, jackass. Like, you find a way. You want to get people's attention, but you want them to get involved. Right. This makes me think you're dumb and you want to destroy art. And I don't go for that. I don't own any expensive art, but it should be in the world. Yes. You shouldn't be trying to wreck it. All right. Good job. I'll get off my thing if I was the president. If I catch any one of you children coming into an art museum with something destructive, here's what's going to happen. You're not going to like it. No, I'd make them clean up trash on the side of the highways. Oh, my God. I would. Like an old-timey road gang. Like a chain gang. Chain gang, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Update. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. It's, because we usually do the Harry and Meghan. The end of Harry and Meghan's $20 million Spotify after just one podcast series is a sign of post-Megxit wave crashing, brand expert says. She just signed with William Morris. And I'm sure there's a couple agents over there just going, wait, I have to do it? Wait. There's 200 people in this building.
Can I have the hair bands?
Yeah, I mean, what agent do we give her to? The acting department? Do we give her to the literary department? And, if within an agency, because I've been doing this since I was 25 years old, there are many, many departments. Mm-hmm. And when you initially have your meeting, because I've done it a million times, they all say they're going to all do all these things. Right. And then I'm the only person that goes into the agency meeting going, yeah, I don't really care anybody out of it. I just want to tell jokes on the road. Yeah. And then they're like, what about your brand? I'm like, yep, don't have one. Nope. Move on. Nope. What about, have you written anything? Nope. Haven't written shit. I don't have a play. I don't have a screenplay. I don't even have a poem. I'm good. Hey, what about movies? No. Unless a friend needs me, I'm not doing it. Well, hi, these are the TV people. Hi, Jane and Bob, and oh, look, then they have weird names that you don't even know what they mean. Oh, hi, it's parsley. It's just fucking, where's garlic? Like, whatever. And I just go, yeah, no, I don't want to be on a sitcom either. And then they're all grossly disappointed. But if you are interested in those things in these meetings, because like Lewis likes to do all that stuff. Or there's always the commercial agent too. Is there any brands you're associated with you'd like to try to do their commercials? No. No, not doing that either. I tried when I was young because I thought it was a way to make money. And I'll never forget one person, it was a mayonnaise commercial, and the person told me I didn't sound excited enough about mayonnaise. And I was like, this is the dumbest conversation I've ever had. Mayonnaise isn't something you get excited about. Well, Duke's I get excited about. Yeah. Miracle Whip, but that's not mayonnaise according to people that aren't from the Midwest. Nope. It's not like, holy shit, I don't know, it's a rare whiskey. It's mayonnaise. It's available everywhere. There's no reason to get that excited. Anyway, I quit doing that. But I'm saying, so Meghan wandered over there. They picked her up, and somebody over there is going to have to make her happy. And I'm just glad I'm not in that position because I'm not sure it's possible. And I respect them for leaving. If they don't want to be part of the royal family, leave. But then you want to keep your titles. I don't know. Harry maybe earned his. He put in the time. Yeah. I don't think he's the smartest child in the royal family.
No. He used to be the cutest, but he scowled.
He was the most fun, it seemed like. A little devilish. And then now it's all serious and victim shit. And there's all kinds of victim things that are very true in there, I'm sure. It's horrible your mother died when you're young. But, I mean, at some point, what else are we going to do here? Well, Spotify, but this is very L.A., too. Oh, my God, Harry and Meghan. And then they'll all run to sign them. And then they'll all forget, oh, wow, we just signed these people for millions of dollars. What is it that they do? Is there a skill or a talent or anything they've even practiced? No. They just run like bees to the hive when they hear there's something in there. They used to do it at the Montreal Comedy Festival. Any comedian with an accent, they all just ran over there and were like, we got to sign this guy. I'm like, I know he's from Scotland and that's exotic to you people. But nobody can understand him, number one. Well, of course, I'll tell you now. What? Even the Brits were like, what the fuck did he say? They're not very creative. So they all ran, and Netflix too. They're in the same boat now. You signed these people for $100 million, I think. What did you think they were going to do? That's what I would love to have a meeting and go, they're not getting paid out the whole $20 million. And now they're saying that she didn't even do the interviews on the podcast. They made like an intern or an assistant do it. And then they dropped her questions and she did. That's what they're saying.
Oh my God.
Now, I have done 1 million people's podcasts. Let's say I'm going to do like Adam Sandler's or somebody where... Tig. Somebody that I am excited to see. Well, it's not fair because I actually know them. Yeah. Let's say it's somebody I don't know that would be a big deal. I would be excited that I could finally get to talk to them or meet them. Well, these people are showing up. I don't know about all of them, but the word on the street is they weren't even talking to her.
Oh, my God.
Ha. Wow. It's all over the internet. It's not me starting a rumor. No. Nope. Yeah. Nope. But how lazy is that? Get your ass down there and speak to these people. But then I thought, okay, I've been on, well, during COVID, even post-COVID, a lot of podcasts that was a Zoom deal. And it's called the gotcha. Because let's say I turn on Zoom. Well, I just did one with Jeff Foxworthy, my friend. Let's say I'm supposed to be on with Jeff, and it comes on. I'm excited to see my friend. And they're like, this producer kid starts asking me questions. I would have answered them, but I would have went, what are we doing? Like, is Jeff coming on? Right. But I also do these all the time. So I'm familiar with what's supposed to be happening. Sure. But maybe if you're the guest on theirs, you don't know. And then you're like, well, shit, I don't know. Especially like nice people. I'm a nice person. If this kid's asking me these questions, I would be like, "Oh, are we doing this?" And they'd be like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." Yeah. And then I would answer the question.
Right.
But I'd be like, "Huh, that was freaking weird."
Or you think it was prep.
Well, you would think it's prep questions, like, and then you find out you're done.
Right.
It's a gotcha move. Because they do gotcha. Moving on. Holy shit, they found it. I'm so excited to talk about the Titanic thing. I can barely get through these stories, but these are good ones. I'm not jumping. I'm not leaving. Everybody sent this to me. All of the termites that sent it to me, thank you. Dazzling ancient bronze sword found in Germany. It's 3,000 years old, and it is perfectly preserved. And it is the most awesome looking thing. We'll put it in the schnotes. Still, I hope it goes to a museum. The bronze sword with an octagonal hilt was found in a grave in southern town of Nordlingen. Okay. It's thought to be from the late 14th century BC. Its condition is so good it almost still shines, the Bavarian state officer for monument protection says. The grave contains the bones of a man, a woman, and a boy, and other bronze items. They're not sure whether the three were related, and the rarity of the find raises questions about the sword's origin. They said manufacturing such a sword was complicated as the hilt was cast onto the blade. The Nordenlin sword does not appear to have been used in anger. It's believed to have been a real weapon, though, not just ornamental. Oh. The state of preservation is exceptional. It's like a very rare find. It was left in the grave. It was left in the grave containing the remains of. Oh, they already said that. It's gleaming. I mean, it's gorgeous. It should be like. It should be like totally in the Louvre or some museum. Like it's a piece of art. It's awesome looking. So this is crazy. The discovery of 1 million pennies, potentially worth millions. A family of California discovered a hidden treasure while organizing their late father's home, which was a stunning turn of events. They found about 1 million pennies hidden in a crawl space in the Pico Union area of Los Angeles. I know right where that is. The family believes they are not ordinary pennies and may be worth much more than their face value. $10,000 would be the average value of 1 million cents, but the family's German immigrant father's decades-long collection of coins may be worth considerably more. After the U.S. switched from copper to zinc during World War II, the father started saving them then. Oh. The late father-in-law, John Rays, commented on the amazing discovery. These have been untouched for decades, and I think that's the unique part about it. According to the family's suspicions, the father may have had a clever scheme to capitalize on the metal's value. However, they also hoped that an expensive and rare collector's item might be hiding with a massive collection of pennies. In 1943, pennies sold for an astonishing, $1.7 million at a 2010 auction. Among several pennies in recent years fetching extraordinary sums, thousands of dollars have also been paid for rare pennies. The family bravely decided to market their collection, on some website called Offer Up, valuing it at $25,000. Considering these things, coin lovers and collectors were intrigued by this action and eagerly anticipated what would happen. The family found that evaluating and sorting through such a vast collection was difficult. We started looking at the pennies, which was a laborious process, and it rapidly changed to, we don't know what we're doing. I wouldn't either. I could just picture me and my siblings at a giant table full of pennies going, here's one with an Indian on it from 1912. Awesome. Google it. You would be there for, there's a million of them. You would be there for millions of days. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we decided to crack open a few beers and enjoy those instead, underscoring the absurdity of their good fortune. The family tried to deposit the coins in a nearby bank. However, they're shocked to learn that the bank's vault could not hold that sheer number of pennies. They consequently realized the importance of the experience guidelines to navigate the complex world of coin collecting successfully. So they're going to look for some more expert advice. Or you just do 5 a day. Wow. But I mean, it's going to take you the rest of your natural life. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to save this one for next week. These two holy shits I found out the same. We're moving on. Okay, to what are we watching? Okay. I've really been waiting to talk about this. Again, sports fans, if you don't care about sports, I totally get that. Just move on. Just fast forward 3 minutes in the podcast. But I need 3 minutes to talk about the LA Open of golf. Yes. This past weekend, it was the worst U.S. Open I've ever seen in my life, and here's some reasons. Okay? Number one, the LA Country Club is the snottiest place on earth. It was totally sexist and racist. Many clubs were, but they were more mean and racist and sexist than others. No Jews, no blacks, no women, no all that. So the Jewish people went and built their own.
Are you only saying it's white men?
I am only saying it was white men for a very, very long time. Very, very long time. I think women, black people were allowed in 1977. Women, full member women, 1980.
80?
Yeah, like I couldn't join just on my own. No, they wouldn't have allowed that. Now, there's a ton of country clubs that are like this and have but I love when the announcers, they try to cover it all up and go, well, you know, the mystique of the LA Country Club. Mystique, also known as racism and sexism.
Exactly.
Right. And you've outpriced everybody so nobody can get in. So all these other country clubs popped up in LA. One guy, I found this so funny. His name was like Bob Rogerstein, something that sounded maybe could be Jewish. Well, he tried to join the LA Country Club. This is back in the day.
Right.
And they said, no, we're not taking Jewish people. And he said, well, I'm actually not Jewish. I'm just German. And they were like, yeah, we don't buy it. So he went over to the Jewish Country Club, and they were like, are you Jewish? He's like, no, but they won't take me over there. He's like, yep, not taking you here either. That poor guy couldn't find any place that would take him.
Nobody will let him go.
So, I mean, a lot of country clubs have this. But currently, what they did this weekend, and this is in conjunction with the USGA, for U.S. Open is supposed to be the most fantastically loud and exuberant of all the major tournaments. Like the Masters, you have to stay very quiet, and everybody talks like this. And you're not allowed to get too excited. You're certainly not allowed to just be slamming beers and encouraging people and yelling things out. But at a U.S. Open, when they have them in New York and stuff, it sometimes goes over the edge. Yeah. But it's lively, it's fun. So they let the members buy the tickets. There were only 4,500 tickets available to the general public each day. And the members bought the rest, and then they give them to their rich friends, and then they don't even go. Right. There was no one there. No. I felt so sorry for the golfers that finally qualified, and they're having the day of their life, or the holes in ones, and there's just, 6 people up on the green. It was, and to course, I mean, I'm sorry. Your fairways are big enough to land 7 jumbo jets. It's not really that difficult when there is no rough because there's no out of bounds. It was just stupid. So I Googled the history of that place and what's currently going on. Currently, it costs anywhere, nobody really knows the truth, $250, and I've heard as up to $500,000 to join. Now that's not your monthly fee on top of that. That's just to get in. Wow. If you can get in. It's so exclusive, there's no mention of joining fees on its website. Well, that's pretty common with fancy country clubs. They don't ever put money conversations on there. Though it's widely been reported to cost around $250,000 to $300,000. I've heard as high as $500,000. While it refused entries to such celebrities, it hates celebrities. They want old money. Like a friend of mine played it, and I said, who did you play with? And he's a financial advisor. And he said, well, it was like the great-grandson of Payne Weber. There was a man named Payne Weber. Wow. Right. I never think of that. That was a real dude named Payne. So it's like old blue blood, money that has nothing to do with show business. It's probably the guy who owned all the oranges when Orange County actually was full of oranges.
Mr. Goodyear.
They denied entry to Bing Crosby, Groucho Marx, Hugh Hefner. And this is the first time we've been able to see it since 1959.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, well, they had a Walker Cup in 1940. 300 acres of prime real estate in Beverly Hills, and they also are tax exempt. And I don't know how. The loophole they save $80 million on property tax a year. I haven't read enough about that. The golf course, yes. So I'm sure it's a member-owned course. It's like an unveiling. A lot of golf people kind of know of it or have heard of it. I've only seen a hat. Wow. I got to play through other entertainers. Rick Riley from Sports Illustrated was nice enough once to invite me to Bel Air, and I got to play it just once in my whole life. Riviera, my friend Drew, I think it was an auction item or something, and he took me, which was great. But like LA Country Club, well, I only know one person that's ever played it. One. And then that was because he got invited because of the financial thing. I've only seen a hat on a plane leaving Los Angeles. A guy got on, and it says in tiny letters, LACC. And I almost shit my pants. I'm like, that's a member! It's a unicorn! It's a unicorn! Oh, my God.
Take me to your leader.
Lionel Richie's mansion is a stone throw away. And while Hugh Hefner's famous Playboy mansion, he got mad.
That's the best story ever.
Yep. It's next to his mansion and his zoo, which he reportedly built as revenge for not being allowed into the country club, sits next. So, like, they would be on the 14th hole, and you could hear peacocks and monkeys just going, bah, bah, and I'm sure it smells like shit. It's a zoo. It's going to smell like shit.
It's so great.
It's such a great fuck you. Yeah. You know, many things I don't love about Hugh Hefner, but I like that.
Go smell some peacock shit.
They can still hear monkeys, parrots, and peacocks from the golf course. You could hear them on TV. They have strict rules, including clothing etiquette. After 6 p.m., men must wear a jacket in most areas of the clubhouse, unless otherwise specified for an event. Denim is not permitted. No. Men's shirts must have sleeves, collars, and tucked in, while women's skirts can be no shorter than 4 inches above the knee. Cell phones are not permitted in the clubhouse, though calls can be made in a specially allotted phone room or in phone booths in the locker room while used discreet and in silent mode. Yeah, you can't take any social media is strictly forbidden. No photos, comments, even discussion of the club's membership or activities are prohibited. No. Oh, wow. I've only been to one place that was this kind of strict, and it was in Nantucket. And Lewis and I didn't know. This is funny, and then I'll shut up about golf. So Lewis and I, there's only a couple courses on Nantucket, right? And somebody said, oh, we got you guys golf. And we were like, well, how much is it? Just so I have to prepare Lou. He doesn't like to pay more than $200 to ever play golf. For a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I'm fine with that. I'll pay more. I don't care. I don't have kids. Who's, whatever. And they said, oh, don't worry about how much it costs. I said, okay, well, I said, he's going to get hungry, and I know that. And is there anything to eat out there? Because he's going to kill me. Do I need a club member number? They never take cash. Right. Neither does LA Country Club. It's all on your thing. And they go, oh, you don't need a number. And I said, okay. Stop it. All right. Well, I don't know how I'm supposed to buy something. I'm picturing there's going to be like a halfway house with hot dogs. And this is what I'm telling Lewis. I'm like, don't worry, Lou. There'll be something at the turn, and we'll get you a tuna sandwich or a hot dog. He's like, okay, because I'm really, really, really hungry. And we went in to check in, and I said, oh, hi. Oh, my God. Last name's Madigan. He's black. Yes, ma'am. I was told you were coming, and your caddy awaits you. And there's a guy. Thankfully, he was young, but I think he was afraid of us because we're old. And just tentative, which I would be too. You're like, he doesn't know who we are. And we're like, dude, we're not serious people. Right. Don't become alarmed. We're not going to give you any shit. So we start walking. There's no carts. You're going to walk along the seaside. And it was beautiful. But Lou, I couldn't take it because he just kept going every single hole. Kathleen, when do you think there's going to be food? I'm like, oh my God, you have got to fucking stop. I go, I have peanuts in my golf bag. No. Then I'll get too thirsty. And the kid goes, oh, there's some food up in the next hole. And we were like, great. And I'm like, I can't play with him like this. It's it's distracting. And I know he's starving, but you should have got up earlier, Lou. I don't know what to tell you. Well, we go to the hole. This is how rich these people are. I've never seen anything like it. The kid goes, here you go. And he walked over, and there was a cedar, I would call it like a cedar box on the ground. And he opened it, and it was filled with ice. And in the ice were apples.
Apples?
That was it.
Apples?
Like we were deer.
Stop.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, man. I said, he won't. He's not going to, he doesn't eat fruit. Look at him. Barely could get him to eat a banana. No. And the kid's like, well, yeah, like this is like the snack out here. And I said, all right, whatever the kid's name was, just something basic, Joe or something. I'm like, Joe, this is an emergency situation, and I'm gonna tell the clubhouse he's diabetic, and that if he doesn't get something to eat in the next 15 minutes, it's gonna get bad. He goes, oh, okay, I'll radio that in. What would he want? What would stop him from like fainting or whatever? The kid doesn't know what's going. I said he needs a candy bar and a turkey sandwich. Whoa. And they did it. But then I tried to pay somebody. No one would. No. Right. Then we went in. We finally finished up. And I turned on my phone and I was immediately reprimanded. I didn't see the signs. I didn't know. They're like, ma'am, no phones in the clubhouse. I go, well.
No women in the clubhouse.
Yeah, no women. I don't even know how I got in there. Right. And maybe Carly Simon called. I don't know who lives out there. And he goes, I go, well, I just needed a call for my ride. He goes, your ride's on the way.
Oh,
Creepy.
creepy.
But that doesn't mean I would turn down another free round. Just saying, Nantucket.
Shut up, Nantucket. Boom.
Turns out I'm just a whore at the end of the day.
Mama loves
All right. So anyway, I also think that a U.S. Open should be played at a course where the general public, if they're willing to pay a lot of money, can also play. Pebble Beach, you can play it. It's a lot. The ones up in New York, you can play them. They're Beth Page, you can play it. This L.A. Country Club, I'll never get to play it. No one will. No one I know except my one money friend.
Right.
He might get another round in because they won't take celebrities, or so none of my friends.
Right.
They all go to Riviera, whatever, Lakeside, whatever. I just don't think you should talk about this fucking course for 4 days and no normal American will ever get on it.
Exactly.
Even as a guest, to just go look at it, you're not allowed. No. I saw enough on TV. I don't need to see any more of it.
I don't need to see your shit.
No, I'll take my ass right up to Santa Barbara and go on the $100 one that I love. What's the name of that one? I can't think of it. Sandpiper. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
It's wonderful. It's public. Anybody can go. And it's never that crowded. Well, it didn't used to be. That was 5 years ago. All right, let's move it on. Moving on to news, people. We're moving on because I've dilly-dallied a lot. Let's talk about... I dilly-dallied. I am an old person. Sometimes I'm going to say old people things like I said, no, I like the word shindig, and somebody used it on CNN. Can we bring that back? It's a great word for just an all-encompassing thing that's happening.
You like function, too.
Well, I do say function. I know I'm supposed to say event. Yeah. Well, I'm like, I don't know. There's some sort of function at 7. Function. It's a function. My dad would say function. Mm-hmm. This Titanic, I think everybody's up to speed. They're going down to look at the Titanic. Now, first of all, I view the Titanic wreck as a graveyard, not a tourist attraction. But then I thought I'm a hypocrite because I do like to walk through old graveyards. But those people are in a graveyard and they just died. Like the Titanic was a horrible disaster. We're certain of that. Everyone died horrible deaths. I just don't think I don't know. I think people that are qualified and explore, like people, not explorers, but scientists and marine biologists, yes, we should send them down there, and then we can see movies. That's why the fuck you would go in this thing? You can go to the Luxor in Vegas. They have all kinds of Titanic stuff. Yeah. You can go online and see every movie about everybody that's ever gone down there. There are so many reasons I would not get in this thing. Now, my outside theory is, what if Megalodon ate it? Outside theory. Dark horse on the money board. Yeah. Megalodon ate it. This guy, this doucherama who built this thing, well, there's all the videos online of him showing, hey, this part of the hatch I got from Camping World. He actually says Camping World. Then he has a Nintendo remote. It's not even a PlayStation 5. Like, even I know, and I'm not a gamer, but I have enough nephews that I can look at a remote and go, that one's old. That's not the new one. He wants the other one. Like, this is not... Yeah. They paid $250,000 a person. Now, I feel bad because there's a 19-year-old boy in there. Young man. Let's call him a young man. He's not a boy. He's not... No, he's a man. Yeah. Could have got shipped off to war at 18. But I'm sure he's with his father. So his father probably... I'm sure the 19-year-old didn't have his own $250,000. True. Signed them both up. The thing is bolted from the outside, so there's no way out. I don't consider myself claustrophobic as long as there's a way out. Like, I don't freak out on elevators. As long as there's a way out. This thing's bolted from the outside, so you can't get out. No. Period. No matter how much you want to, you can't get out. No. You're going to go further down in the ocean than we've ever even gone in space. And with a dude, this thing on the waiver, on the first page, 3 times it mentions you could die. Or emotional trauma or physical injury, or all of the above. Mm-hmm. Now, you're reading this. I hate to say it, but sometimes I think with the billionaire people, there comes an arrogance there along with that description of, well, this won't happen to me. I agree. And it has had a couple successful dives, but really, you can see this footage from scientists on YouTube. You just want to do it because you want to brag. I really think that's part of it. It's just a Dixieland contest to say, well, hey, I've been to top of Mount Everest. Hey, I've been to when they go to their little explorers club. And then I would say, well, hey, I saw a snake on the 14th hole of the Oaks course in Osage Beach, Missouri. How about that? Yep. And then I saw another snake right next to the dock.
My name is Maddie Python.
And there's a lot of fighting online. Should we go spend all this money? Where the Canadians are helping, Paddles, your nation.
I know, we don't have a lot.
You're sending your whole Navy, all 4 ships.
There's 4 ships.
We say that. Google, see how many ships are
They're
Canadian.
So cute.
We don't know. How many do they really have? We're teasing if there's any Canadians, although it's not compared to the American Navy. They're
it's not the Navy, it's the
search and rescue. Coast Guard? How many? Well, they probably have a lot of Coast Guards, but unfortunately, there's a shitload in Vancouver, and that's not really going to help us at this moment.
119 vessels.
119 vessels.
Could include outboard motors.
Which could include outboard motors. Bang, bang. Get your little bass tracker out there.
23 helicopters.
23 helicopters?
Oh.
Randy, our friend, is probably flying one of them.
It's awesome. Good for us. Operates under fisheries and oceans Canada.
Well, we're going to spend all this money, the Canadians help their goodwill, to find these people. And I would this is where if I'm president.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I would come out today hot about it too. Hot. Listen, to all of you self-funded, private, quote, adventurers, entrepreneurs, you are allowed to do it. Have at it.
Not coming
and
for
you want to, from here on out, we are not coming for you. And just know that. Because this money could be spent, I always think, what would Dollywood do with that money? I mean, I always think, right. Like, this is ridiculous that we're going to spend all this money to go find billionaires who got in a Tic Tac and went to the bottom of the ocean to look. There's only one window, by the way. So there's one portal.
One window?
Yeah, and I kept going, where do you go to the bathroom? But that's such an old lady question. As soon as I walk into anywhere, where's the bathroom? Well, there's one, and they put a little curtain, and then they turn on music so no one can hear you go.
Music?
Yeah.
Who gets to choose?
I don't know who gets to choose the music. But I've read 17 articles, and I don't know the answer to that. There's a billionaire, he's 58, named Hamish Harding. You know, these people are bored, and they want something to talk about at a cocktail party, and fine, go do it. But we're not coming anymore. Yeah. We're not doing this.
Wow, these ships are cool looking.
As of today,
they're all red and they got maple leaves.
The Canadian ships with maple leaves and red.
They got icebreakers on the front.
Icebreakers, it's very cool.
Yeah,
as of today, they have 40 hours left. By the time this podcast airs, they will probably be, for sure, dead. Mm-hmm. And what a horrible way to die.
Awful.
It's the same reason I would never go into space. Because as a child, I watched Lost in Space. The TV show is actually called Lost in Space. Yes. You're just free floating till you're dead. Yeah, it's awful. Earth is so awesome. I do not see the reason to leave. No. I wouldn't get in this Tic Tac submarine in Lake of the Ozarks, and I know I can swim, but out of the Lake of the Ozarks. But if I can't get out and it breaks, I feel sorry for the 19-year-old. But the rest of them, I would go get you this one time. I might make you pay it, though. The billionaire. Pay it back. Yeah. The bill. Yep. They're never going to find this. No. It's literally like finding a Tic Tac. in the Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, there's a lot of theories from scientists, not from people on Twitter, that it either exploded, if all the electrical went haywire, just poof, because the pressure, the further you go down, and it just pop. Or if that caused a leak or a crack, it flooded. Yeah. Then it sunk. And then you're done.
Or, what did we come up with?
Or,
the ghost.
Well, seriously.
You can tell people that.
Well, it's a little dark. What if the ghosts on the Titanic are bored with one another and they need new playmates?
Yes.
I think about those things.
Yep.
I mean, those were horrible deaths. Those people died.
Yep.
Not everybody died happy. So maybe there's ghosts still down there. I wouldn't go near it. No way. Nope. No, too superstitious. Yep. Too Catholic. Too whatever. I just
too claustrophobic.
Well, too claustrophobic. Yeah.
It's dark.
There's videos. I'm sure everybody's seen them now. It's all over Twitter. The guy that made it, he doesn't seem right in the head to me. Like Richard Branson. Richard Branson tries shit, but a lot of it's very practical and it works. And then when he tries crazy shit, he doesn't put people in it.
No, it's backed by science and billionaires. I mean, like.
Right. It's called Ocean Gate. And the CEO is in it. The inventor, he's in it. So, okay, I give him credit for going down with the ship.
So ridiculous.
You're going down with the whole idea. They also didn't notify. So there's a mothership on top that it's sending signals to and text to. And all of a sudden, they're an hour and 45 minutes into it, they're getting nothing from the thing below. They did not report that for 8 hours.
8 hours?
8. Then they called Nova Scotia or Newfoundland and Boston and said, hey,
Nova Scotia's the headquarters.
We got a problem. Can you guys help? And they're like, what's your problem? And they're like, well, we've lost a Tic Tac in the Atlantic Ocean. Can you help? I don't know. I would go get him once. Wow. But I would make that a giant thing as president. And that includes people that are going out in crazy space shit, people that are hiking in places where you should not be hiking, and it's known. That's known. Yep. No, we're done with that now. Stop doing stupid shit and expect it to be rescued. It's 22 foot long, this thing, this metal Tic Tac. My boat on a shitty lake, not the Ozarks lake, a different lake, it's a 25 foot long boat. And that's not a big boat. Wow. It's just a ski boat with a little open bow. My fishing boat is 16 foot long. I mean, this is a small, you're basically trying to find a fishing boat that's 7 feet longer than the one I have, which is tiny.
Right.
I can't
imagine that.
No.
What a horrible way to die.
They had 96 hours of oxygen total. But you know what? You're assuming that we can find you after we've lost touch. And you didn't tell anybody for 8 flipping hours. I mean, I would sue the shit off this guy. There's this guy, but he's going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Speaking of this kind of shit, we're moving on.
Okay.
After being separated from her Sherpa, this is a Mount Everest thing.
Oh my God.
A woman nearly died.
I read about this.
Yeah. Fellow climbers found and rescued her, promising one of their Sherpas that the unconscious woman would pay him a rescue fee. She refused, sparking a social media firestorm.
Oh my God.
I, as much as they're probably tired, if I was those Sherpas, I'd carry her ass back up where I found her.
Bye-bye.
You know what? I got Wednesday off. And guess what? I'm going to hike back up there.
Throw you in a canyon.
Yeah, these Sherpas are the most unbelievable people on earth. There was one guy, he actually left at breakfast and told his wife he had to climb up and down and he'd be back by dinner. Climbed it up and came back. They're like crazy.
They're nuts.
Chinese climber, she's a Chinese lady named Lui Qinying, was discovered unconscious in the death zone. So she's all the way at the top. Right. So this wasn't base camp 1 down because you fainted. A dangerous stretch of the mountain, frigid low temperatures, and low oxygen. Later, she refused to pay the Sherpa who saved her. There was a standard rescuing fee.
It's like $10,000.
She hired her own Sherpa. Her own hired Sherpa got separated from her. While she was alone, she got stuck on a rope at 27,000 feet up.
God.
Mm-hmm. By the time other climbers found her, she was covered in ice. One of her hands was black from frostbite, and she'd run out of oxygen. They made the decision to abandon their descent and rescue her, but it proved difficult. Hours passed. Fan and Lakpa, that's the Sherpas, grew exhausted, and with her unconscious body, they'd only managed to carry her 650 feet. And these guys are good at it.
Yeah.
The sun and night fell. By stroke of luck, these two climbers encountered another pair of climbers, a teammate of hers and his Sherpa, who were ascending the mountain. The group agreed, Pem, this one guy, the group agreed was the strongest of them, so they asked for his help to bring Leo? I don't know, down the rest of the way. Then Z made a decision that would have future ramifications for the unconscious woman. He told them that she would pay a standard $10,000 fee if he helped rescue her. Sherpa guides usually charge $8,000 to $10,000 to guide the mountaineers to Everett Summit through severe weather. They should charge a lot more.
Yeah, you're carrying
a lot
your body down.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah. While preparing their equipment and carrying much of the gear, he agreed to help. And they transported the still unconscious Lee to Camp 4. You're still way up there.
Right.
You still got 3, 2, 1 to get to the base camp. They provided her with oxygen and kept her legs elevated. They carried her up on their backs and shoulders. Around the same time, her Sherpa realized his client had not made it back to Camp 4 after he did set out to find her, only to be informed she had already been rescued. The two reunited the next morning around 7:30 a.m. It grew even more complicated when the people who did rescue her rose to viral stardom. Users of the social media platform celebrated the climbers for abandoning their ascent to help a fellow mountaineer. They should. And for persevering through the 11-hour journey to bring her back.
They carried her for 11 hours?
11 hours.
Oh, my God. She's an asshole.
When the guy approached the climbers the next morning regarding his fee, the situation grew tense. Fan and Z reimbursed the Sherpa in the interim, but when asked Lee to repay them for the fee, she reportedly refused. Each of us paid the guides. She said she was not paying it. She would only pay him $4,000. The rescue fee is $10,000.
Wow.
Oh, and then the Sherpa got mad.
I would too.
Said, since that is your attitude, I don't want a cent from you. You don't need to give me any money. Oh, no, don't go that route.
No.
No.
No, you tell her who you owe.
Oh, shit. Can you imagine? Wow. Her reluctance to pay the fee quickly made the rounds on Weibo, and I don't even know what that is, some sort of site, and users were attacked, even quicker to attack her. According to Data View Bay, it said, Everest rescued woman doesn't want to pay full rescue expenses. Been viewed more than 370 million times on the social media app.
She's an asshole.
Yeah. She's 50 years old. She's the only one who hasn't commented on the situation.
Sure she hasn't.
Yeah. This is the thing. You got to get that money up front.
Yep.
You get it back if we don't have to rescue you.
Right.
But if the Sherpas are willing to do it for the cash, then the cash needs to come up front. We're not negotiating this
That's awful.
after I've saved your life.
I'll give you 4.
And what if I bring you down and you're not alive? I get half. Your family got your body. It's better than most.
True.
Yeah.
This just took a dark turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a dark turn. Yeah. It's the most realistic turn. People of Missouri, my home state.
Oh, we're changing.
Yep.
Moving on.
The police had to put out a warning to remind everybody it's illegal to wrestle bears. How much Busch Light did you drink, Jim Bob, that you thought it would be a good idea?
Where were they going to wrestle the bears?
Salem, Missouri.
No. Where's that?
I don't really know. Oh, well, it's near, well,
Hang on. Where
it's 135 miles northeast of Springfield, Missouri. So, near,
It's by Rolla.
by Rolla. The next time you think about taking on a bear in a squared circle, in the squared circle. The police are reminding all Missourians that it's illegal to wrestle them. The Salem Police Department said they received phone calls Tuesday morning about a black bear near Rolla Road. The town is located on 130 miles northeast of Springfield, Missouri. Officers said they closely monitored the situation, and the bear was last seen heading north back out of town.
Who is going to wrestle a bear?
A lot of people.
Oh, okay.
It's illegal. It was in 1996 we had to make that law. Too many people were drunk, I guess.
How many bears are in Missouri?
It's a misdemeanor if you do it.
A misdemeanor?
Yeah, they should probably raise that charge. There's a lot of bears in Missouri. But here's what's really weird.
Oh, my God.
So my sister has a neighborhood face group thing, page, whatever, right next to her house where I frequently walk her dog. Mm-hmm. And then Cha-Cha, the black cat, follows us on the walk and stalks us and acts like she's a mountain lion, right? Okay. Yeah, she's behind bushes staring at me and Buster the dog. I'm like, I see you. I know it's you. Whatever. Right. One of the neighbors, it's a regular subdivision, like with kids on bikes and all that stuff. They are kind of a little bit, they're next to an enormous park, not like a park like the woods. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lake in there and some trails, but they're in the woods. It's woodsy. But she posted a picture on Facebook of a baby mountain lion hugging a tree. And they always say in Missouri, the conservation department always says, well, we don't really have mountain lions. If you see one, it's just passing through. Well, clearly they're having children, and maybe some whore mom left them. But there's a baby there, and if there's one, there's more. Yeah. This is how you're going to get charged with the misdemeanor. If you wrestle a bear, permits, if you promote or conduct or stage bear wrestling, if you advertise bear wrestling, if you collect a fee for bear wrestling,
What is the precedent for this?
purchases, sells, or possesses a bear that he or she knows will use for bear wrestling, trains a bear for bear wrestling, subjects a bear to surgical altercation for bear wrestling.
Who has done this?
There's a serious history.
We gotta get into this.
Alabama did have a law prohibiting it, but that law was repealed as obsolete in 2015. Now they have animal cruelty laws. It's a serious history, even though this may sound unbelievably ridiculous, said Katie Cryer, manager of PETA. Exploiters, they removed their teeth and claws and forced them into brawls with booze-up bozos in a practice so cruel that legislatures had to ban it. Boozed-up bozos?
Huh. We gotta get into that. Who has done this in Missouri?
Wow. Senators call on TikTok CEO to come clean. Now, I do jokes about this in my act, so I'm not going to go too far into it on the Pubcast, but these senators are so out of touch with TikTok. They would have been 1,000 times better letting my 14-year-old nieces question this man.
Yes.
One guy actually goes, so now if I'm on the TikTok in my home, am I on the internet? Fucking hearing's over.
Wow.
Full stop.
Yeah.
That's how the internet works, sir.
Do you have a grandchild?
I just threw the article over there. That's exactly how I feel. But I do think we should cancel the hearings, stop it. And I know 14's probably too young, but let's get some 21-year-olds.
This is how we get.
I need the children here.
Make their interns do it. Mm-hmm. Prep your intern. Mm-hmm. They can find it out.
Prep your little interns.
Yes, yes. Wow, that'd be great. That's ridiculous.
The largest ruby ever. Moving on.
Wait, what? Okay.
I'm moving on. I'm just saying the videos, if you want, of the senators asking the TikTok questions. What do you think they're stealing? And I know I'm not smart enough tech-wise to know. So the Chinese can have my data. I'm 5'1". Here's my birthday. I don't give a shit anymore. It's all out there. If it's a government phone, an employee, I don't think you should be allowed to be on that. Because you may have government clearance, you know, you can't let them spy.
Right.
But the largest ruby in the world has come to auction and set a record in New York when it sold for $34 million.
Whoa.
Yep. It comes months after Canadian firm Fura Gems discovered the jewel at one of the company's mines in Mozambique.
Whoa, nice.
It weighed 101 carats and was found in the largest gem quality ruby ever discovered. My question is, what do you do with it? Do you chop it up and make a million little rubies and sell them? I don't know.
No,
They don't say.
no.
And it's a beautiful color. It's not like the color got compromised.
Nice.
African rubies can be opaque, translucent, or transparent. The more transparent the stone is, higher in value. Previous record was set by a sunrise ruby, 25 carat, discovered in Myanmar that sold for $30 million in 2015.
Wow.
Do you chop it up? Do you put it in a museum?
Yes.
I hope so.
Yep. You give it to that Sherpa.
Give it to that Sherpa.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All the Sherpas.
Yeah, you let them decide.
They wouldn't even care. They would look at it and go, whatever.
Exactly.
Because they're not like that. They're not materialistic people.
No, I'm just trying to be nice.
Sword of an Indian ruler slain by British sells for more than $17 million at auction.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What do you do with it? What? The bedchamber sword of Tipu Sultan, the 18th century king famous for the commanding role he played in the wars in southern India, has sold for $17.4 million at auction in London. It's just amazing what rich people will buy.
People spend a lot of shit.
It was 7 times the estimate that they thought it was going to bring
Wow.
in. Yeah. Extraordinary history. It's no surprise. It was hotly contested between 2 phone bidders and a bidder in the room. We're delighted with the result. The sword is from the kingdom of Mysore in southern India between 1782 and 1799, earning the title Tiger of Mysore for the ferocity of which he defended his realm, said the auction house.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not saying who got it and where's it going. They don't ever say who wins this shit, and it should. I'm sorry, it should be an auction.
Should be an auction.
Yeah.
Yep.
This affects one of my sister's friends. AT&T.
Yep.
They're telling 60,000 managers to return to the office, forcing thousands to quit or relocate.
What?
Yeah, that's kind of bullshit to just throw out there. You got to move.
Oh, they have to relocate.
Yeah, or quit, or quit, or quit.
Oh, where are they gonna go?
Well, that's interesting.
Okay.
There's 9 locations. Here's 9. L.A.,
Uh-huh.
too expensive.
Yeah.
San Ramon, also expensive. That's California. Okay. Seattle, it's expensive. Yep. St. Louis, what? We're totally reasonably priced. Just throwing that out there. Ample parking, reasonably priced, super fun baseball atmosphere.
Yeah, all that this year, but
Washington, I don't know what they mean by Washington. I don't know if they mean the state of or D.C. It doesn't say. Middletown, New Jersey, Bedminster, New Jersey. Those are nice.
Yep.
But, while most of the employee affected live near one of the 9 locations, well, near meaning what?
A lot of rounding on that, I think.
Right. You've got to either they'll have to decide whether to stick to a long commute, relocate, or leave AT&T. A manager at the company speaking with Bloomberg described the plan as a layoff wolf and return to office sheep's clothing.
Wow,
Yep.
that's quite the.
Yep.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's going to take effect in July for the Dallas and Atlanta offices. The rest of the assignments will begin by September 4th.
Wow.
Boy, I don't know. The move comes during AT&T's pass to cut $6 billion in cost, and it affects the company will probably be down 15,000 employees from last year. They've also closed their flagship AT&T store in downtown San Francisco, down in Union Square. San Francisco, get it together, man.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Yep.
What the actual hell is going on?
A lot going on. Right?
I'm gonna do this and then one story, and the ghost town thing. I said it in the preview, but I'm gonna do it in next week because it's a good story and it's kind of longer.
Okay.
Just to let everybody know, I'm so jealous. If you're in Scotland, but it's probably too late, Banksy exhibition launches in Glasgow as major ticket update revealed. So Banksy hasn't had an exhibition in 14 years. Mm-hmm. He doesn't do this. And I'm sure he doesn't show up, which is kind of cool.
He's probably there.
Yeah, nobody knows what he looks like. So it's the perfect thing.
He's the weird guy.
Their summer exhibit, it goes from June 15th till August something. I can't find the end date. Buy online tickets. They're all sold out online. The exit, it's open 24 hours a day. Wow. But the majority of the slots have been wiped out.
Really?
For that long.
Wow,
yeah.
Cool.
You could try to buy tickets at the door at 9 a.m. Oh, God. Queues of people were standing outside the gallery as people waited to see if they could get in. Tickets, they're only 15 euros. 5 for the children.
That's it?
They mean real children, though, not the children I speak of.
True. The children.
The children.
We should go over there.
$10 for students, disabled, and the low wage. We never do that in this country.
Nope.
It's the exhibit spans 25 years and will feature many of the stencils he used to create his work. I've kept the stencils hidden away for years, mindful they could be used as evidence in a charge of criminal damage. Oh, smart man. Yeah. But that moment seems to have passed, so now I'm showing them in a gallery as works of art. I'm not sure which is the greater crime. Wow. For anyone who's in. So I'd try one day. If I had nothing else to do, I'd go and line up, see if I could get a ticket, because you're never going to see that shit again. I can't really leave the property. I can't really leave the United States just at the moment. All right, we're going to finish with a feel-good story. Great. Yeah, in honor of my friend. My friend paddles his friend who has an autistic son. And, Dory. Yeah, Dory. And then my brother, my nephew. Little Pat. This is crazy. I never would have thought of this. This is just crazy. Mississippi man who was the first person to be diagnosed with autism in 1938 dies at age 89. Wow. He was actually case 1.
Wow.
Can you imagine? He was case 1. The first person he's died. Donald G. Triplett was the subject of a book titled In a Different Key, a PBS documentary film. Boy, I'd like to see that if that was made way back then. BBC News magazine installment and countless medical journal articles. But to employees at Bank of Forest, a small city about 40 miles east of Jackson, Mississippi, he was simply Don. He died Thursday, the bank confirmed the bank's president. He worked for 65 years at the bank, where his father, Beeman Triplett, was a primary shareholder. He was a remarkable individual. He was fiercely independent. He was a fiercely independent savant, and he kept things interesting. He graduated from Millsteps College, enjoyed golf and travel, and was frequently flying to exotic locales, they said. He was in his own world, but if you gave him 2 3-digit numbers, he could multiply them faster than you could get the answer on a calculator. I've known all my life, his nephew said. He was just a joy. I've known him all my life. He was a joy to be around. He'd bring a smile to your face. He was examined by Austrian child psychologist Leo Connor at Johns Hopkins in Baltimore, who was initially baffled by the boy's symptoms, according to Encyclopedia Britannica. His autism diagnosis arose from a detailed 22-page letter sent to Connor containing telling observations by his parents about his aptitudes and behavior. The letter remains a primary reference for the document for those who describe the disorder. At an early age, he displayed challenges with social interaction and for the uncanny knack of memorization. As a whole, the city, Forest, encouraged him and accepted him. It gives people who have kids on different levels of the spectrum hope that they can live a happy and full life.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really great.
Yeah. I never thought about there being a case 1.
Yeah.
And I certainly wouldn't have thought it was in 1938.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, because like people my age, not many of my friends' kids have kids with autism. But the group 10 years behind me, a ton of them have kids with autism.
Yeah.
I was blaming it on microwaves. Well,
there's a lot of research going into that.
It seems it's not microwaves. I was just trying to think of what did I grow up with my siblings that are 10 years younger than me, where they didn't. You know, I was popping shit in that microwave, but I didn't get one until I was 18 or 19. Right. It's not the microwave. I'm not making shit up. I was just thinking about that one day, but 1938 it was already happening. So there you go. That's your feel-good story, termites. Now, I have to get ready and pack all the sunblock I've ever owned to even walk outside in Las Vegas, to even go from the airport to a cab. And termites, I will see you there. And
What are you gonna do there?
my friend Bronson's coming,
Nice.
and we're gonna go somewhere fun and do fun things. And my friend Lorene's coming,
Nice.
the woman who directed my Bothering Jesus special, one of my BFFs of 100 years. She's a lot of fun. She likes to gamble. I'm gonna play video poker. I'm gonna go look for Wheel of Fortune slot machines, the old school ones. I don't like the new ones. I don't care for those. I like the old ones. I will probably play, I don't know, maybe craps. It depends on how many friends I have around. I don't like to play it if I don't know the other people. It's too aggressive.
Fair enough.
And I don't like to do blackjack because I can't add. So that's a problem. The hats, the termites, you've bought almost all of them. There's 10 left.
There's 9 left.
9. When these go away, we're going to make a new hat. But I'm not doing it till
Maybe.
the 9 are gone.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. They're fun, though.
There's a T-shirt coming out too.
A new T-shirt's coming out, too. This is mostly paddles driven. I love the merch. I love the merch, but
Come on.
no, I love it. But it's not a real money maker. It's more for fun. And then sometimes it's a work. You know, it's a lot of work.
It's a work.
It's a work, you know. Just be glad we're not in a tic tac floating to the bottom of, what are you saying, Paddles?
Where's your outline?
Oh, my upcoming shows?
Yeah, you got all this stuff.
I
you
don't
wrote
know.
down.
I have too many papers. I'm going to
You make me.
Cape Cod in August.
God, you make me type all this out.
Well, I asked you. Hold on.
God,
Hold on.
I don't care about merch.
Hold on.
You tell
One
me.
more day. Borgata. No. Hold on for one more day. I didn't either. Borgata, July 8th. That's Atlantic City. What? Hampton Casino Ballroom, July 22nd.
Boom.
What? And then the Cape Cod Melody Tent, August 12th. What? And then September, it goes crazy again.
Right.
Cray.
It's gonna be fun though.
Yeah, it's all fun. It's all good. There's just been a lot going on. So we'll get through all that. And, yeah, there you have it. All right, termites. Go be summertime termites. Have fun. Frolic. Oh, it's raining here right now. I can see it. That means the cats are going to be pissed. And they're going to be standing at the door. Just going, "Meow, meow, meow."
You're drifting.
I am drifting. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. All right. Sleep tight. Night, night, termites.